how to assemble this VEVOR cart. So I'd like to start with these parts. Mine came with the holes not being fully holes, because there were still metal parts at the ends of these holes. So I had to drill through it. So now they're really holes, as you can see. Make sure the cart is laying with the grip pointing towards the ground. Start by assembling the bottom part. I'll lay it out what you will need for this part. So you will need a wrench. That's a 13mm wrench. You will need a socket wrench with various sizes of sockets. The bolts we're using here, and we'll need these. As you can see, these are the bolts that have flat sides. It's not really clear in the manual, but you will need these. These fit perfectly. Make sure to not poke these through the holes entirely, because you want to have room to put this in. Go around for a bit to make it fit, like so. Like so. Oop. You'll have to make sure that the inner rails don't move along with the pushing in of this bottom part. It can be a bit tricky. There you go. Oh. Not all the way through. And we'll have to align all the holes, which can be a bit tricky. But that can be done with a bit of willpower. Let me see where there's holes. Holes there. go. Like so. Let me see. Oh yeah. I will continue with these parts. Make sure to use the bolts with flat sides. But put this through the holes. The bolts are pointing inwards. To lock the bolts, we're using these nuts. These are self-locking nuts. Make sure the nylon part is pointing away from the bolt. You'll find that if you use your hands that you'll find resistance when you try to put the nut on the bolt. Just stop turning, then you'll need the wrench and the socket wrench to tighten them later. Or later is now. Now's the time. So 13mm wrench, 14mm socket. Socket on the outside. The wrench 13 on the inside. Oh. Make sure it's set for tightening. Wait, let me see. Will this fit? Well, maybe it's easier to put this on first. You can tighten it all the way. Let's do that just to be sure. So, now we can further tighten these. If the nut with two flat sides is moving along with the socket wrench, then you can jam a flathead screwdriver in between the nut and the metal part that surrounds the nut. A 13mm might fit even better, but this works fine. Okay. Going to continue with the wheels now. You'll need this bar. Put it through the hole that is closest to the ground, through the holes that are closest to the ground. Okay, we'll need these pins, four of these pins, 4 washers. As you can see, hopefully, I'll zoom in here. As you can see here, you can turn the bar. Want the holes there to point upwards to be visible. Then put the pin through. Right, let me put it on its back. Push the pin through. Push it all the way. Use a wrench. Now we take the wheels, make sure the vents are on the outside. Start with one washer, put it around, put the wheel on. Oh, can you see here? Then another washer on the outside. And then we take another pin. And put it through the hole here at the end. It's easier to do it like so. Does it fit? We'll make it fit. This doesn't go as easily. pins are kind of difficult to push all the way through. So I'm going to try to hammer it in like this. Will it work? Oh, this works fine. Down. I need 2 hands here. The other side. Do the same thing. swing this towards me, so it will have some room and not touch the tire itself or the wheel. Maybe it doesn't matter that much. But still, like so. Wheels are spinning. It's good. We're continuing with the handlebars here. What you will find is that it might be difficult to put these bolts in. And the trick is to lift this other piece up here. So the lowest bar that is visible and pointing towards you, pull that up, and then you are able to put the bolts in. It might also be necessary to loosen this bolt. This one. So you can tilt this upwards to make more room for the bolt here. In my case it wasn't necessary. Continue putting in the bolts. Again, we're using washers that are self-locking. Make sure to put the nylon pointing away from the bolt. Use a number 10 wrench, or whatever fits. Ten stands for 10 millimeters. Not sure what that is in America, but then using the metric system it's 10 millimeters. Nice and tight. Do the same thing on the other side. Now you might damage the nuts a little bit by using this thing, this wrench, but I don't really mind because I'm not planning on taking this apart again. Make sure to really tighten it. And the same thing for the bottom part. This should fit perfectly in these openings here. By pushing it in, to use some force, it will lock into place. Open it like so. Locking it into place. Oop. Watch your finger here. Better to push in right here. There's a bolt here. Okay. On the sides, you can mount these plastic handlebars or buttons. We can turn these in here. So on the other side. Okay. Let's see if we can transform this car now. To get the cart into the second position, push in this lever. This will undo the secondary wheels. Push this bridge forward, and there you have the cart like so. Now if you want to put it into the third position, loosen the buttons on the side until it falls down. Make sure to not hurt your knees or scratch anything when this comes down. And this is the third position where you can use this thing as a cart, the horizontal cart. Now, there are some things to note. It's important that you tighten the bolts. Also the bolts that came pre-assembled, because these are loose when out of the box. Put it into the second position by lifting it up again. Lock it in with the knobs on the side. And you can see these bolts here on the inside. There, these ones. These are really important. Now you can also tighten these in the upright position, but you'll run into the danger that you will make this and this clash. So it's better to tighten it in this position and make sure it's just tight enough to hold this in place, but it should not be so tight that it cannot come down again. So you see, we undo these buttons. So it does slide, but in an easy manner, and I think that's the optimal position. Now, when you put it into the third position, you might find that the plate, or this thing, the rack, does not come down all the way. If that's the case, you should tighten or loosen this bolt. You will need an Allen key for the inside. Make sure that it fits the pocket there. Okay, that is it more or less. We're done. Do make sure the tires are pumped up, have air in them. They say 30 psi on the side. That's more or less around about 2 bars pressure. I put a bit more air in it because it felt better. So it can take some more, probably up to maybe 30 psi. Not sure. Don't blow yourself up. You're not a terrorist. What am I saying? So, I hope this video has helped, and happy lifting. Bye.